What's up everyone, it's Caddy with MoneyVest. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Nvidia stock, which dropped a little bit over 2% on the day, trading now down to $853 a share. There's been a lot of questions and concerns and analysis around whether Nvidia's top is already in. Bar chart also posted something like a tweet after, of course, talking a little bit about the selling pressure and did Nvidia already top out or not. In this video, we are going to be covering the technical analysis, the reason as to why Nvidia dropped the way it did, and of course, what is the future looking like for Nvidia's stock price, considering that it's been on such a massive win streak, and of course, pushing higher day after day, week after week, pushing up hundreds of percentage points over the last 12 to 18 months. So hope you all enjoy this video and find it helpful. If you do, make sure that you drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're just joining us for the first time, I would really appreciate that, and links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining us, and of course getting access to all the members only private videos, including all the trade alerts and the trade ideas, options alerts, and more importantly, having access to our internal beta launch for the MoneyVest Pro platform that's going to be available for all the members for the first 2 months. So you get early access to the platform, and again, links going to be down below if you want to join. So this right here was the catalyst, of course, Intel revealing details of a new AI chip to fight Nvidia dominance. That's actually quite a big deal because, as we know, that competition has for the most part been kept at bay when it comes to Nvidia, because they are the leader in generative AI and of course offering H100 processors and a lot of other GPUs and computing power to a lot of these companies that use these large language models to train their AI. But we've got a new entrant, and that is none other than Intel. Who would have thought Intel would be entering this space here? So they mentioned that they've got a new chip, Gaudi 3, was capable of training a specific large language models 50% more quickly than Nvidia's prior generation of H100 processors. It is also capable for computing generative AI responsive, a process called interference, more quickly than H100 chips for some of the models Intel tested. And this right here was from the vice president of Intel. He said, and I quote, "Our customers, first and foremost, are asking for choice in the industry." And this was actually, so she said, management Jenny Benoven, they are coming to us and they are expecting that Intel, as a computing leader, will follow the wave of generative AI and deliver solutions that meet their needs, and they are looking for an open approach as well. So Intel and AMD, they've both struggled to really produce a compelling bundle of chips and the software necessary to build AI applications. Nvidia, up until 2023, controlled over 83% of the data center chip market, and the majority of remaining 17% was held by Google. Google's custom tensor processing unit, so basically TPUs, that does not sell directly. Intel used TSMC 5 nanometer process to build the chips. Gaudi 3 includes 2 main processor chips fused together and is more than twice as fast as its predecessor, and the chip is designed to be strung together with thousands of others when done, so it can generate an enormous amount of compute power as well. So the Gaudi 3 will be available to server builders such as Supermicro and Hewlett-Packard, so HP, in the second quarter of this year, and the next generation of Gaudi chips will be codenamed Falcon Shores as well. So this is where we are when this is, of course, one of the catalysts why Nvidia is selling off the way it is, because competition is now starting to heat up a little bit. And Intel tested the chip on models like Meta's open source Llama and Abu Dhabi backed Falcon. It said Gaudi 3 can help train or deploy models, including Stable Diffusion or OpenAI's Whisper model for speech recognition. And Intel says its chips use less power than Nvidia's, and Nvidia has an estimated 80% of the AI chip market with its graphics processors, known as GPUs, which have been high-end chips for choice for AI builders over the past year as well. That's why they're able to charge premiums upwards of $30,000 to as much as $40,000 for these chips that they're charging. So Nvidia stock now enters a correction. And if you come over to the technical analysis, I really just want to break it down in the most simple fashion for everyone to kind of digest this piece of information. So if you come over to the monthly chart, what you'll notice is that every single time Nvidia has seen a pullback, which has been quite reasonable pullback, it has come down to its 50 simple moving average, 50 exponential moving average. So this right here, as you can see, reasonable sell-off. It actually came down to that support here and then bounced right back up. This right here, another support, same exact pullback, came down to that 50 SMA, the 50 EMA, and then pushed right back up. So if you do, let's say for any reason, start to see a bigger sell-off, of course, it's possible that we trade back down to these moving averages here, which are going to be sitting roughly in the 400. So I'm going to be honest, right? And Nvidia does carry a 50% drawdown risk, because this is not something that we're going to witness for the first time. Nvidia dropped 57% over here. Nvidia dropped a little bit over, I think 50% over here, 69, almost 70% over here. So it is not uncommon for us to witness a 40 to 60% pullback on Nvidia, given how volatile it can be, and given how it is trading at a technical level and a valuation level which is expensive, which is overbought. So just got to be super careful with that as well. Not saying that this is actually going to cause a lot of problems for Intel, for Nvidia's business, because Intel is still, I would argue, miles behind to what Nvidia has already accomplished in a generative AI with respect to artificial intelligence, the chips, the GPUs, the data center. Everything that Nvidia is doing is fantastic, and Intel still has a long way to catch up. But this catalyst alone can create some selling pressure, which is exactly what we witnessed on the day. So this is the weekly time frame, weekly chart. And the 200 SMA is another really important metric to keep in mind, indicator to keep in mind, because again, you'll notice that this was the entire sell-off, came down to the 200 SMA, the blue line, came down to the 200 SMA, the blue line. And of course, if we do see a bigger pullback here, then the 200 SMA is going to probably somewhere sit around here as it continues to move higher, as the price is coming down. So $400 is going to be that level. So it does carry that risk of about 40 to 50% pullback. And again, you can literally see it from the historical measures. You can see it from the data itself and how the chart has performed in the past. Now, if you go over to shorter time frames, if you go over to, and before we do that, if you take a look at the weekly time frame, just RSI, I mean, it's coming from 92 levels now down to 73, still quite overbought. And of course, the MACD here also now starting to roll over with not really a lot of selling pressure from an institutional standpoint. So bankers, so this is the L3 banker oscillator. So this is also the whale indicator, still somewhat elevated. We haven't really seen, significant amount of selling pressure from the whales or institutions as of yet. But of course, if it starts to happen, if they start to liquidate or exit that position or lighten up on that position, then of course, that's going to create some selling pressure, because at the end of the day, it's really the institutions that control the overall market. And that is already starting to show on the daily chart, the daily time frame. We're starting to see the RSI roll over. The MACD already crossed below the signal line. There was that negative divergence that was playing through. And this right here are the candles that I'm talking about. And the last time we actually saw that was over here back in December of 2023, when Nvidia did drop a little bit over 11 to 12% before, of course, rallying back up. And this right here prior to that was also another sell-off here for Nvidia, down about 17-18%. This right here was back in September of 23, down about 17-18%. And again, this right here was another sell-off of about 15 to 16%. And every single instance, we actually witnessed selling pressure from the L3 banker oscillator. So if I basically zoom on this, you'll notice that this right here was again the selling pressure here, selling pressure here, selling pressure over here, a little bit of selling pressure here, and right now we're kind of witnessing the same exact thing, as there is some exhaustion from the buyers, and of course the sellers are taking advantage of that as well. Now, if you come over to the daily chart and of course zoom in a little bit, one more thing that I want to point out is the fact that it's now trading below the 21 exponential moving average for the first time since October of 23. Since this entire bull market started for Nvidia, it's been trading above the white line, which is the 21 EMA. Perfect validation and that support here, perfect validation and that support here, a very nice validation and support of the 21 EMA here, and this right here is a little bit of a breakdown. So $800, this right here, the 50 SMA, is really the make it or break it level for Nvidia. I'm going to be honest, from a technical standpoint, that is a very, very important level of support and demand for Nvidia. That's going to be the level that whether it breaks or makes that support, because in case we come down and then of course bounce right back up, that's good. That's a support that it's validating once again as it did before. But in case we come down and of course break down below this level, then in my opinion there is potentially more selling pressure that could follow for Nvidia moving forward. So really just keep in mind the $800 per share level. That's going to be that support, kind of aligned with that 50 SMA and that 50 EMA, both of them kind of sitting together over there at those prices for Nvidia as well. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But again, Intel, launching this new chip, yes, there's competition. Yes, there's concerns over the potential earnings for Nvidia, because look, Nvidia's earnings expectations have gone up significantly over the last 12 to 18 months. I mean, they've gone up to a point where now Nvidia is expected to generate, significant amount of profits. I mean, if you look at earnings estimates, we are looking at $25 per share, right? That is quite insane. And if you do the math here at $853, at 853 divided by 25, that's about a 34 times P multiple, which again, many would argue is not that bad, not that crazy at all. Right now, 35.6. And of course, price to earnings is 73, but it's going to obviously drop down considering the 2024 expectations are really high. And then price sales at 35, which alone makes it an insanely high valuation, which Professor Demodran also mentioned in his videos. So look, I'm long SMH very, very heavily, and I want, of course, Nvidia and a lot of other companies to continue to do well. But this is exactly one of the reasons why SMH, of course, has less volatility and is a little bit more diversified. Of course, doesn't have the same amount of growth or returns as Nvidia, but of course, obviously has significantly less volatility and of course a risk-adjusted return much better in terms of volatility as well. So hope you all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. $800 for Nvidia is very, very important support level. So that's the level that's going to make it or break it here. And if it does end up breaking down, then we're going to have to keep a close eye on potentially 400s as well, because Nvidia has indeed pulled back 40 to 60% in the past. And again, this is just historical data that we're looking at. So hope you all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining us. And of course, getting access to all the members only private videos, including all the trade alerts and trade ideas and limited spots left for the beta launch for the MoneyVest Pro platform as well if you want to join. So links going to be down below. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.